Some employees do the kind of work that keeps an office from catching fire. Then nobody remembers they were holding the extinguisher. The alarm stops, the meeting continues, and the person who prevented the disaster quietly receives the traditional reward for reliability, another extinguisher. This is how hard workers become invisible. Not because their work has no value, but because it becomes part of the background. The spreadsheet is accurate. The client receives an answer. The printer works before the presentation. The new employee finds the correct folder. Nobody sees a dramatic rescue because the reliable person arrived early enough to prevent the drama. At first, this feels like trust. People know Alex will handle it. A message arrives late, and Alex replies. A number looks wrong, and Alex checks it. A deadline moves, and Alex reorganizes the work. Each decision is sensible. But over time, the office stops seeing a series of contributions. It sees a natural law. Problems enter, Alex absorbs them, and normality comes out the other side. That is useful for the office. It can be dangerous for Alex. Reliability can create its own tax. The person who solves problems quickly receives more problems, while the visible projects go to someone with more available time. Alex becomes essential to today's operations, but strangely absent from tomorrow's opportunities. The reward for being dependable becomes a larger pile of invisible work. Nobody planned this arrangement. It grew one sensible request at a time. The first reason is simple. Prevention removes its own evidence. If a server fails for 3 hours, everybody remembers the failure and the repair. If someone notices the warning signs and fixes the connection in 5 minutes, the visible result is an ordinary morning. The better the prevention, the less interesting the story. Maintenance has the same problem. Coordination, checking, documenting, answering questions, and catching small mistakes often create stability instead of spectacle. Stability matters, but it does not walk into a meeting wearing a medal. It usually sits quietly in the corner and updates a spreadsheet. Think about the work that makes other work possible. Preparing the clean file before analysis, confirming the owner before a handoff, testing the link before a presentation, or noticing that 2 deadlines quietly contradict each other. These actions rarely become a headline. They become the floor everyone else stands on. Floors receive very little applause until one disappears. The second reason is that memory likes clear stories. A person presents a result in a meeting. There is a beginning, a decision, and an ending. Everyone can repeat it later. Preventive work is scattered across small moments. A message here, a correction there, a conversation that stopped confusion before it spread. The contribution is real, but the story is fragmented. This creates a visibility gap, the distance between doing useful work and making that work understandable to people who were not standing beside you. A useful test is to imagine someone who missed the entire week. Could that person understand what changed, why it mattered, and who helped by reading your update? If the answer is no, the work may be real, but the shared memory is weak. Visibility is not decoration added after the work. It is the short bridge that lets other people understand the work accurately. The gap does not automatically mean your manager is selfish, careless, or plotting in a glass conference room. Managers have limited attention. They see deadlines, outcomes, interruptions, and the work that reaches them in a clear form. Recognition practices also vary between teams and companies. Some managers actively look for quiet contributions. Others notice only what appears in the weekly meeting. Most are somewhere in between. This matters because recognition and progress conversations are not decorative office rituals. They help people understand whether useful effort is seen, whether priorities make sense, and whether progress is happening. But recognition cannot work with information it never receives. The solution is not to become the loudest person in the building. It is not to announce every email as a historic victory. Office Crow has reviewed the evidence and confirms that replying to a calendar invitation does not require a press conference. The solution is translation. Translate invisible effort into 3 parts: problem, change, and impact. Problem: what was at risk, blocked, unclear, or inefficient? Change: what did you actually do? Impact: what became easier, safer, faster, clearer, or less expensive because of it? Suppose Alex finds incorrect source data before a report reaches a client. The invisible version is fixed the spreadsheet. Accurate, but forgettable. The translated version is I found that the report was pulling last month's source values. I corrected the link and added a validation check, so the client version went out with current figures and the same error should be caught automatically next time. That is not bragging. It gives context. It tells the listener why the work mattered, what changed, and whether the fix will last. Or imagine Alex helps the team handle a rush of new requests. The invisible version is sorted the queue. The translated version is we had 12 urgent requests without owners. I grouped them by deadline, assigned the first responses, and flagged 2 conflicts. The team now has a clear order and the Friday delivery is no longer blah. Notice the tone, calm, specific, no fireworks. The facts carry the weight. A useful update can be only 2 sentences. First, here is what changed and why it mattered. Second, here is the next risk, decision, or owner. That format respects everyone's time while leaving enough evidence for the work to be remembered. If nothing meaningful changed, do not manufacture drama. Silence is better than a ceremonial update about moving a card from one column to another. The next step is to use ownership language without pretending you worked alone. Weak language erases the contribution. It got fixed, or we somehow worked it out. Inflated language erases everyone else. I saved the entire project. Both versions damage trust. Clear language sounds like this. I identified the issue, Dana confirmed the client priority, and Evan tested the final version. Your contribution is visible, and the other contributors remain visible too. Keep a private evidence log. Once a week, write down 4 things: the problem, your action, the result, and who else helped. This is not a diary of every completed task. It is a short record of work that changed an outcome. When a progress review, project update, or performance conversation arrives, you will not be trying to reconstruct 6 months from memory and 14 browser tabs. Review that log for patterns, not just isolated wins. Perhaps the same confusion appears every month, or the same emergency repeatedly lands with one person. A pattern can reveal a process problem, a training need, or an unfair concentration of invisible work. The log becomes useful not only for recognition, but for deciding what the team should fix next. You can also make prevention measurable without inventing certainty. Record the recurring error that stopped appearing. Note the turnaround time that improved. Track the number of unresolved requests before and after a change. If the impact cannot be measured cleanly, describe it honestly. The decision became clearer, the handoff had an owner, or the team avoided rework. Do not turn a reasonable contribution into a fictional financial miracle. There are limits. Visibility does not guarantee fairness, promotion, or more pay. Some workplaces reward presentation more than substance. Some managers receive good information and still fail to recognize people. A clear update improves the evidence. It does not control the decision. Visibility also cannot repair an impossible workload. If Alex documents every rescue but is still assigned every rescue, the next conversation is about priorities and capacity. Ask which outcome matters most, what can wait, and who else can own the recurring work. Making effort visible should help distribute responsibility, not simply produce a more elegant record of exhaustion. There is also a trade-off. If every helpful act becomes a personal marketing campaign, coworkers stop hearing the work and start hearing the campaign. The goal is not constant self-promotion. The goal is accurate shared memory. So use a simple rhythm. At the start of the week, name the outcome you own. During the week, send one short update when something meaningful changes. At the end, record the result in your evidence log and credit the people who contributed. In meetings, describe the problem, change, and impact in one calm sentence before moving on. Hard work is valuable. Reliable work is valuable. Preventive work may be the reason everyone else gets to have an ordinary day. But work does not always speak for itself. Sometimes it submits a ticket, fixes the problem, closes the ticket, and quietly destroys all evidence that it was ever needed. Do the work, share the credit, translate the impact. Because unspoken work is just office wallpaper with better posture.